You cannot trademark something that is not in use. Hi, my name is Attorney Justin Camper, and I am a small business and trademark attorney located right here in Northwest Indiana in the Chicagoland area. And I want to talk to you about Trademark Tip Tuesday, where I give out tips about trademarking your business. So let's go. Today I want to talk to you about the big controversy that's going on, which is the White Lives Matter being trademarked. So there has been a lot of false reports from major news outlets that White Lives Matter has been trademarked, which means that Kanye can't use it. So here's the thing. There was two black men who decided that they wanted to trademark White Lives Matter so that Kanye couldn't use it and he couldn't wear it. This happened when Kanye wore White Lives Matter on the back of his t-shirt, and it went viral, and they said that they went to trademark it, and they apparently secured the trademark, and now Kanye can't wear that shirt. So, not true. That's not exactly what happened. So when you file for a trademark, and I thought it was a good lesson to teach small business owners, so you can kind of have an idea of actually what you can learn from this. Okay, so what happened in this case is that there was someone else that had already applied for White Lives Matter. Okay, and they had transferred their interest in their application to these two black men because of the Kanye situation. And the black men were saying that they wanted to make sure that they were basically, they want to use White Lives Matter in shirts and clothing and blah, blah, blah. So here's rule number one. When it comes to trademarks, the number one rule you want to learn, you cannot trademark something that is not in use. Okay, so that's a big misnomer among the trademark community, that you can just trademark black, white, swag, whatever. You can just trademark a word, never use it, and think that you have rights. So no, you have to be using your mark. Now, you can also just trademark, so this is lesson number two, you can also file for an intend to use application, which means that, hey, I'm not using this mark yet, but I will be using it, right? And that's a application that was actually filed in this case, that they were planning on using this mark, but they haven't actually used the mark, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. But eventually, in the application process, before the trademark is actually granted, the trademark registration is actually granted, they would have to show that they are actually using the mark. So they would have to show some level of proof that they are actually using the mark in order for the USPTO office to grant it. So that's one, lesson number two is that if you're not using the mark already, and you want to, before you put it out to the world, you want to protect that mark, you can also file for an intend to use application. But here's lesson number three. Okay, trademark applications typically take a very long time. Okay, they take up to 6 months to a year, and it's really on that year side because of what happened with 2020. I don't know what it was, but it was just a frizz of trademark applications, and millions of people are filing for trademark applications because there's so much value in having a trademark with the USPTO office. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that trademark processes take a long time. So you want to get ahead of it. If there's something that is an intellectual property in your business that you want to protect, you want to make sure you talk to a lawyer sooner rather than later, so that you can have that protection. The fourth thing that I think that you can learn from the whole Kanye West saga when it comes to the White Lives Matter t-shirt is that an application is not registration. Okay, and so just because you filed for a trademark application, that doesn't mean you have rights. Okay, it's not until they give you that official seal from the USPTO office that you have a trademark registered, that you do not have trademark rights. Okay, so it's one thing to keep in mind that you don't have rights until it's officially registered. Okay, and it's a long process. It's not just a quick thing you do in a week and you get a trademark back same day. Okay, so that's lesson number 4. So make sure you keep that in mind, that understanding whether something's actually been applied and whether something is actually registered. Okay, and then number 5. Okay, and I think it's just a big lesson to keep in mind going forward, is that sometimes news outlets don't have the correct information. Big shocker, especially when it comes to legal issues. Okay, and that's why it's so important to have an attorney that you are working with, a business attorney that's on your team that can advise you on legal issues. Right? You can have a marketer advise you on marketing issues. You can have a business consultant advise you on how to run the business and how to make the business profitable. But you absolutely need a business and trademark attorney working with you, making sure that you're legally compliant, making sure that whatever you're trying to do is protecting your business, is protecting your business assets, is making sure that if you ain't ever have to go to court, that you have the best defense possible, or the best guns possible to attack anybody if they ever tried to sue you or you wanted to sue someone. There are multiple well-established news outlets that had it completely wrong. And if those news outlets can get it wrong, what about you? Okay, and then what about the people that are relying on these news outlets like CNN, who said that the trademark was registered? Okay, and they stopped Kanye, and maybe they word played it a little bit, but essentially, it was incorrect information, or it was misleading information, and a lot of people reached out to me because they thought, hey, how is it that they were able to get this application done so fast? So it's really important to keep this in mind, and you want to make sure you have one attorney that you're working with at least to give you personalized legal advice when it comes to your business and your trademark. So I hope that was helpful for you today to learn about those 5 things that you can learn from the Kanye saga, with the White Lives Matter t-shirt being trademarked, with the White Lives Matter phrase being trademarked. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. One thing I want to throw in as a bonus is that you can't trademark something outside a certain classification, right? So even though let's say everything goes through and the White Lives Matter is registered, they only register under a certain classification. The classification is built with a certain product from a certain, and they said that they were using it for t-shirts and blah blah blah, apparel, different things in apparel. Well, you can't trademark a slogan or a name that across the board, right? You have to. Those are separate applications. You got to make sure you have a trademark within a certain classification. Okay, so we can talk more about that later. But just give me a call. Remember that I'm an Indiana licensed attorney, and this is legal information. So make sure that you do consult with a local licensed attorney within your state so that you can get personalized legal advice. But you are in Indiana, or if you do want to file a federal trademark, I would love to talk to you about your case, and we can move forward from here. So thank you so much. Have a great and awesome day, and stay legal.